You're listening to a Cup of Resilience podcast with Tamiko Drummond. Real topics, real people, real solutions.
Hello, everyone. Guess what? It is a Cup of Resilience time. My name is Tamiko Drummond, and I'm known as the Brand Success Coach. All right, everyone. Hello. I'm super excited because guess what? Welcome to another Cup of Resilience podcast. Y'all would not believe who I have with me tonight. Okay, have y'all heard of this hiking group out there in hot Arizona called Kamo Lyfe? Well, it's a group of friends that hike. And they've got a documentary. So we've got the cast, we've got the director in the building. They've won awards. But, you know, I can't just, I'm not even doing it justice. I'm going to introduce you to them. Okay, so we have Mr. Kevin Russell. We have Mr. Marcel Dorsey. And we have Donna F. Gray. And we have Jamal. He's in a car, so I'm going to kind of wait till he gets somewhere stable, stationary. And then y'all will see Jamal, okay? But everybody go ahead and say hello to the people.
Hello.
Hey.
We gonna do that again. Rewind. Okay. We have the Kamo Lyfe group in the house, and we need them to say hello to the people. Hello, Kamo Lyfe.
Hey.
Amen. Okay. All right. So, Kevin, tell the people who you are, etc., and then we're gonna go to Donna and then Marcel.
Kevin Russell, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Been in Arizona for about 12 years and got into hiking, almost 7 years ago.
Nice. Okay. And you are the... You started the group?
Well, it wasn't just me. It was six of us total that started the group. We just kind of collectively came together, and I guess over the years our roles just kind of morphed into what it is right now. Okay.
All right. So Donna, with excitement, please tell the people who you are.
I will. My name is Donna Gray. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I moved to Phoenix in 2016. Moved out to Arizona by myself and stumbled across a post on Facebook about hiking and started hiking. And, I've always been an athlete. I've always been very competitive. And at that point in time of my life, living in Arizona by myself, hiking just kind of filled, everything that I needed it to fill. I was spending a lot of time alone, was trying to find out, how to kind of, keep me busy, trying to kind of rebuild a life out in Arizona, and fell in love with hiking. Met Kevin, Nisi, Jamal, Jessica, Ron, and I'm sure we'll get into all those stories, and really have been hiking ever since. And so Kamo Lyfe just kind of something we just kind of stumbled across, not something we planned, not something we expected. It just kind of fell into place. So that's kind of my story.
I love it. I can't believe you. So you moved to Arizona by yourself.
Yeah. So my company, I had an opportunity to move. I mean, it was really, really hard. Not something that I ever thought that I would do, like leave my family. I have 2 children. I have a granddaughter, my mom, my brothers, my sister, everybody lives where I grew up, so it's a town where primarily everybody stays, nobody leaves. So it was a great opportunity for me. And really, even though it was really hard, it just opened up a world and exposed me to things that I would have never been exposed to if I had not just kind of took that leap of faith and moved, way across the country.
Okay. Listen, that is awesome. That's good. All right. Marcel, Mr. Dorsey, director at large.
How you doing? Marcel Dorsey. I'm a writer, director, editor, filmmaker. My good friend Kevin Russell from Cleveland, he told me about his love for hiking, and told me that they would have they had a great story. So once I found out the background, I went out to Arizona for 3 weeks, filmed them, and COVID actually was a gift and a curse. It gave me the time to really edit and put it together. And but back and forth between me and him, we were able to get the project done and in its current state. So,
Right.
And I'd like to thank you again for welcoming us to your podcast.
You are welcome. Now, people who are watching and later on who are going to watch later and listen to the podcast over. Now they're kind of just, acting like this is not a great feat. Do you know that this documentary won some awards, right?
Yes, it was and got into 2 film festivals, won an award, and it's currently in distribution. And it's on Hoopla, it's on Amazon Prime, it's on
Tubi as well.
TV, and in a couple of weeks, it's going to be released on other outlets. But we got picked up by Maverick Entertainment, so we accomplished everything we went out for.
That's amazing. That's big. I'm super excited. Okay.
We are excited as well. And hey, I just wanted to say, wanted to shout out the rest of the Kamo Lyfe family. There was an emergency that came up with a few of our members. Hey, Nisi, we're thinking about you and all that good stuff. So didn't want to forget our family.
Shout out to Nisi. We miss having you here, but let's get into why did you decide to create this documentary, and why are y'all hiking?
Which question do you want first?
Okay. First, why did you start hiking? Okay, and let me just say the topic of today is called overcoming obstacles. Overcoming obstacles. Now, that it just seemed, I've seen pictures, and I don't know if you all are following Kamo Lyfe, and you need to follow them. They do have a Facebook group. They're not playing when it comes to hiking. Okay. It's not like me. I'll say, yeah, I went hiking, but it's really like a little trail. It's nothing, not too much. And I stay far away. If I am hiking up a mountain, I'm doing the paved way. And I'm not even close to where the cliff is. But like, especially Donna, if y'all watched it, Donna likes to take amazing pictures, by the way, on the top of the mountain, at the edge, going like this, with probably 1 foot up or even jumping.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. And you would ask, why do we hike? I mean, it's not, well, I'm from Pennsylvania, of course. And so when I used to go on a hike, it used to really just be a walk in the park. Like I had no clue as to really what hiking was. And I talk about it in a movie as I'm flying into Arizona for the first time. There's all these mountains. Like for those who've never been to Arizona, Arizona kind of sits in a valley and it's surrounded by mountains. And so every day to work, every day, just routine things. When I first moved out there, everywhere I looked, you saw mountains. And so when I saw that post on Facebook that talked about mountains, I said, hey, I'm out here. Let me try it. I figured, I'll do anything one time, and never knew it was going to be something that I loved. Like I'd said before, I've always been an athlete. I've always been really competitive. And hiking to me, I mean, it's you're climbing rocks, you're going through these trails, you have to kind of pay attention, know where you're going, or you could get lost. I mean, really, that can happen. You get to the top of a peak and you're looking out as far as your eyes can see. I mean, you talk about beautiful. I've never seen a more beautiful sunrise or sunset. Wow. And so you kind of start chasing that. Like you want to get up early, you want to chase the sunrise. Your body goes to complete exhaustion. And so for me, being out in Arizona by myself, that really just, filled like all of my energy, everything that I had after work, working all week, every single week I looked forward to kind of hanging out with my Kamo Lyfe family and really my hiking family, because there's so many more people that we, initially hiked with, and just fell in love, just totally fell in love.
Right. Wow. Thank you. So Kevin, why the documentary? What happened? What made you think, you know what? I'm going to make a documentary.
Well, it was all a process because never in my wildest dreams, I'm from inner city Cleveland. Shout out to 74th and Cedar in Cleveland. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that I would be hiking mountains. I had no idea what hiking was about. It's things I saw on TV. But 7 years ago, I was going through a really tough time of my life. Was battling depression, was overweight. I was 42 pounds heavier. Uh, Credit was bad, had no money, sleeping on the floor in my apartment. And I was just looking for an outlet. And, didn't have any money. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to get some exercise and just to get outdoors and maybe try to meet some people? And just like Donna, I had saw a post on Facebook about people hiking. And I'm like, that looks kind of cool. People were laughing and having a good time. And I figured like, hey, I got some tennis shoes. I got a couple bottles of water. I can get out there and get in some of that sun. And and that kind of started the whole ball as far as me loving hiking.
Right. So when did you decide to say, hey, you know what, let's create a documentary about us hiking? And maybe Marcel, when did he tell you, you know what, hey, I want you to come. I know this sounds crazy, but
at the time it did sound crazy. He contacted me and said, well, I think and he was trying to explain to me his joy of hiking. And he said, I think me and my group, we would make an interesting, it would be an interesting documentary if you focused on this. And I was like, well, and the first thing that went through my mind is what people probably think of when they hear the documentary. It's just a group of people looking at bushes and rocks. And I don't know if that's going to be interesting. And the more and more he talked to me and the more and more he described his joy and what it meant to him, I said, okay, that seemed interesting. And then once he told me like the background, like the stories that everybody had, I said, okay, that's it. We could do something with their stories. And so at the time, I was actually about to focus on filmmaking. And he said, I got your next project. And the killer part, I scheduled 3 weeks, flew out to Arizona.
Right.
And it rained for like 2.5 weeks.
Oh.
In the desert, where it rained for at least 2 weeks. And, so I really only filmed maybe a week, maybe 8, maybe I might have got 8 days really, but it rained like the majority of the time we were out there. So but it turned out well. Everything worked out, but we didn't get the time that we thought we was gonna get. But once we focused on the stories and everything, we got the documentary that we have now. And it was a major undertaking, but I think if people give it a chance and watch it, I haven't had a bad review yet. Well, maybe one, but I haven't had a bad review yet.
Really?
Well, Marcel's making it sound like it was. He was like, oh yeah, let's do this documentary. It wasn't.
How long did it take? How long did it take to convince him?
Maybe 3 times. He had to talk to me.
I think I want to say it was probably maybe 9 months of convincing him because he told me no at first. But years ago, I had kind of recognized something like really special with our group. And our stories were so similar. I'm like, wow, because when I started hiking, I'm out there and I'm trying to just kind of forget my problems for a couple hours. And, meeting Donna, meeting Jamal, meeting Nisi, Ron, Jessica, and everybody else, I was like, man, I'm not alone, because when you're, going through trials in life and overcoming obstacles, you think like it's just you.
Right.
So when I realized that I wasn't alone, like, people have issues just like I do. And I saw that, doing hiking just released all that pressure and stress that I had. And it did the same thing for other people. I was like, wow, if we could capture this on film, I think it would, lots of people would be able to benefit from our story and just know that it's okay. You're going to go through ups and downs in life, but it's going to be okay. So, long time ago, I told these guys, I'm like, hey, I got an idea. I want to do a documentary. And, I'm pretty sure they just kind of was like, sure, Kev, why not?
Like, okay. Whatever.
Whatever. And they blew me off. And then, Marcel, we go back to 6th grade and Marcel, we've talked all the time and he was thinking of an idea about getting into a film festival. And I said, hey, I got an idea, a documentary on my group. And, at first he's like, no.
That's funny. That's funny. No. 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 Then you finally got him to say yes. So I watched the whole thing. I did watch the whole thing, and I have lots of questions, and I'm mad at a few people in the documentary. But what I like, and we're talking about overcoming obstacle, is that you all definitely built this bond, this friendship bond. And I don't, how do I explain this without telling people the whole, like, y'all got to go watch it, right? Go watch it for yourselves. But you built this strong bond, and you can tell how you all are overcoming obstacles by climbing these ridiculously high mountains that have all these peaks, valleys, and what are those fake bridges that ain't nobody want to cross? Like, it's been there for how many millions of years, and you should see them, y'all. They on anyways. But it's amazing, and you're like, yeah, you could do it. Like, what? I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if I come out to Arizona and I go hiking, I probably won't make it. Right?
You'll make it.
We'll make it.
Probably will not make it.
You'll make it.
I'm afraid of heights, and I'm not crossing them little skinny drawbridge things.
It starts
I
off
can't
with
do it.
It starts off with a moment.
I can't do it. No. But it's amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then Donna, you're just like carefree and jumping on the side of the mountain. Like, she has some amazing pics, y'all. I'm like, oh my God, I would love that, but I'm not climbing up there to do that,
Yeah, I mean, I think hiking it's like therapy. It's like therapy. And so, and our story is captured in the documentary, but there's so many people that we hiked with throughout the years that have, just amazing stories as well. And so when you're hiking and you're, miles, hours on a trail, you start talking. You're walking with someone, you may have never seen them before, you don't really even know anything about them, but there's something about being out there in nature where folks just feel open to talk. I think when I first started hiking initially, I was just so, just trying to like hike and make sure I didn't get lost or fall or, even the snakes and the animals and all that kind of stuff, you're kind of, worried about that because you didn't know what to expect, but you totally forgot about that. You never even thought about it. And then you're walking with someone you never saw, and then you start sharing, and that's how we realized that we had a lot in common, and not only like our life story, but just the love of hiking and just an adventure, because as you watch the movie, that initially we kind of did the same hikes Saturday and Sunday, the same hikes week after week, but then we kind of ventured out to start doing a little bit more. And that's because we were just kind of adventurous and just wanted to experience, the same thing we were experiencing, but in a different location, so.
Right.
I think it was, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I think, when we talk about hiking, for me personally, it was getting out of my comfort zone because, living here in Phoenix, I drove past the mountains and never even dreamt of trying to get to the top of it. And I've always been a very competitive person. And when I started getting into hiking, I was the slowest one, 42 pounds overweight. And once I started getting a little bit better, I just always went out there and say, okay, Kevin, go out there, give it your best, live with the results. And as I got a little bit better and better and started losing weight, I wanted to continue to challenge myself and continue to get out of my comfort zone. And, shout out to Jamal. He's always been the person who has pushed us to try bigger and bigger and higher mountains. And, right in the beginning of the movie was one of the highest mountains we've ever been on, 12,633 feet high. 33
right. Yeah. I want to say that's crazy.
It's
for
painful
me,
too.
you know what I'm saying? For me, because To me, that sounds like you can't breathe.
You couldn't. And you know, and Nisi, who's not here today, I mean, it was such a challenging hike. And you know, and she talks about her experience. And you know, when you're going to hike something like that, you really don't know how your body's going to respond. And it did impact all of us, but unfortunately it impacted Nisi, you know, to a great degree. I mean, it was scary, you know, how it physically impacted her. And she talks about how Kevin kind of stayed with her. And then Jamal and I just kind of,
y'all went for it. Y'all was like, she said, Nisi, I got your back, girl. She said, no, y'all go ahead. And y'all was like, okay, bet.
Yeah, we did it for, because we wanted everybody. One thing we always said is when we do a hike, we're always going to finish, and we always want to finish together. But in that hike, we got so close, but Nisi just was not physically able to continue. But she encouraged us to finish for her, and that's what Jamal and I did. We finished for the group, but we ended up going back a few years later, a couple years ago, and we actually did finish
last year.
Yeah, was it last year? It seems like
it was last year, 4th of July weekend. I actually got a chance to finish that hike, which
Did Nisi go back as well?
Not that time.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's amazing.
But for hiking, the great thing is it's for all types of people, you know, fitness level. If you are an athlete, great. If you're, you know, a little bit overweight, there's all different types of mountains you can go on, short ones, long ones, steep ones, but it's for everybody. And my son, you know, who was real young at the time, I used to take him hiking with me all the time and just being outdoors and off of his electronic devices. And it was a great bonding experience because he told me about his week.
Right. So I think the hiking can be like almost a metaphor for life then, right? Because each of you talked about whatever you're going through in life and being in a new city, not knowing anyone, but yet you hike and create this bond, right? And these obstacles that you're overcoming, these mountains, I'm sure after each mountain that gets harder to climb, by the time you get down, your confidence level, just all of these different things. Kevin, you said you lost 42 pounds. I mean, man, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So kudos to you all. Kudos.
One thing I'll say is when I really started falling in love with hiking was, you know, after my mom had passed and going through a divorce, I did one of the toughest hikes I had ever done at that time, which is a mountain here in Phoenix called Camelback. It took me probably 2 hours to get to the top of it, which nowadays it's more like 50 minutes. But when I got to the top, I was so exhausted. I remember just going off by myself, and this was on New Year's Eve, and I filmed a video of myself releasing all my problems into the universe. I said, you know, this is 2016, or I think it was the end of 2015, going into 2016. Anybody that you know, I had issues with or financial problems, I'm leaving that all in the past, and next year is going to be the start of my new journey in life.
Okay, so if y'all heard that, people, if you owe Kevin money, he was like, you don't got to worry about it. No. But speaking of, Kevin likes to make these heartfelt videos, right? Have you watched the documentary now, Kevin? Donna, Marcel, why did y'all decide to choose Kevin's clip to start the movie off?
Well, when the clips came in, like say for instance, the video he just spoke of was in an earlier version of the movie. The clip that starts the movie off, I thought it was it pulls people in, and people don't really know what's going on. They just know a lot of he's releasing a lot of feelings and venting. So I think that clip captures people, and they go along with the ride because, like I said, I think a lot of people when they hear about Kamo Lyfe, they might think of, oh, it's just like I say, people just walking through the woods. But but once that I think that clip lets you know that it's about more than hiking. And I think hiking represents a lot to especially them. And from what I've been told from anybody seeing the movie, almost everybody starts to think of, well, I want to hike now. Almost all of them. Everybody I know that's seen it, I say good 70-80% say they want to hike or start a hiking group. So the movie is definitely impactful. So it's that clip just shows you more of the feeling that's in the movie. So that's why I put it first.
And I think that's what resonates with people who watch us, is because we're very real about who we are. The videos that we do every week, it's just us having fun, laughing. We're not perfect. We're real people, and that's the big takeaway that I hope people get is you can just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now I like that you all have built this bond, this friendship, but you all started out as a group of how many?
Six.
So there was six. There was six of them, y'all. But the documentary only has, let me see, how many of y'all does it have in the documentary?
5.
5. And what's y'all number one rule? They have rules for their hikes and their friendships.
Yeah, we had a rule when we first sat down and knew that we were going to make this a hiking group. And wanted to, invite people in and kind of share, our love of hiking. We were all single, but we knew that if people would have relationships within the group, it in most cases that would probably change things. And that's actually, what ended up happening. It changed it.
So, y'all, I don't want to tell the movie, but it's so good in that, they have the friendships, then they have that little bit of drama that happens, right? So, there's always somebody who don't follow the rules.
Right.
And these darn two that didn't follow the rules, I'm not going to name no names, but y'all know who y'all is. Okay? Like, why y'all couldn't follow the rules?
But on a positive note, it all worked out in the end. I mean, everybody has found, happiness in their life, and
Kevin's so
and everybody's
correct.
good.
I'm gonna go back to why y'all ain't follow the rules.
Well, I'll be honest. That right there was a gift and a curse. It made for it probably impacted the group, but it made for a great documentary.
Right. Because I was mad. It was like I was watching a what do you call those? Like a soap opera thing. So we're going, and then it's like I'm like, oh, there's drama. Oh,
It was a big crossroads for the group, and to be honest with you, when it happened and it was just the four of us, I was really scared that the group was going to just disband, because it meant so much to me, and I was hoping that the group had meant as much to me as it did to everybody else. And I think we talk about this in the documentary. I was, we went to our favorite restaurant for happy hour, and I just told the guys, I'm like, listen, I would love for us to continue hiking, and I have some ideas to make us more than just a hiking group. I want to do a lot other things with it, because I think what we do, we've got a great story that we can send to the rest of the world, and people would benefit from it.
Yeah. And when I think back to that conversation, one of the members who ended up leaving was such a big part of really starting this hiking group, and so when you have 6 people that are that close and 2 of them are no longer part of that equation, I mean, that's why Kevin sat down with us to say, hey, what are we going to do? We all love hiking. Are we going to continue? I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be the same because we loved those other 2 so much. I mean, they were such great friends. They were so instrumental in planning hikes and driving and getting us there. I mean, it was tough, and we really weren't sure. In retrospect, I'm so glad that Kevin sat us down and we did continue to hike. And as I talk about in the movie, I'm still really good friends with both of them. And I see them often. So they continue to support us, but unfortunately, they no longer hike as part of the Kamo Lyfe.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Kamo Lyfe if it wasn't for all 6 of us.
Absolutely.
And I want to make that, clear to everybody. Yeah, it wouldn't be any Kamo Lyfe, but I was so scared because Kamo Lyfe was all I had. I'm living here in Arizona. I barely had any friends, and it was all that I had. And I was scared that if that was going to be taken away, I was going to just go back to the person that I was before, just depressed, overweight. And when we had that meeting, I was just praying, like, okay, I hope these guys want to continue doing this because I needed it. And I think, over the years as we've grown, I think other people have kind of gravitated to our group because there is a energy within our group. And it's not just, us four now. Camel Life to me is a family at this point.
Right. And I mean, I can tell even in the documentary that you all were hurt. It was like, oh, you lost part of the group, but it, like you said, it worked out. I was trying to wait for Jamal to come back, but I don't see him. So, so y'all won this film festival. The movie's been out now for what, a few weeks?
Came out April 5th on the different channels. Yes.
Right. So how do people go and get it? Is there a link? Like, is there a website? Like, what do they do? Just search Kamo Lyfe and spell it.
So you want me to take this?
Well, you go ahead.
So Kamo Lyfe is spelled Kamolyfe. And because we are different, we look different than most, hikers that you may see. We decided to make our name a little bit different. So that's why we got the Kamolyfe. And you can find us on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Hoopla, and soon to be coming to other streaming platforms.
Yes, indeed.
That's amazing. Just the fact that you all thought enough to start hiking, right? Kevin, you said you lost weight. Donna, you all created this bond, this friendship that's like lasting forever. Marcel got to make his film and win a film festival, right? So when you think about overcoming obstacles, I want each of you to tell me, what does that mean for you, and what, just in life, what does that mean? Overcoming obstacles.
Let me hop in first because I want to give a lot of kudos to Marcel. Just publicly, I love him like a brother. We've known each other for what, 36 years.
It's jumping up there, yeah.
Yeah. And he's been such a big inspiration in my life. Just simple fact that he's always had a dream of being a filmmaker. And I just remember, back when we were in sixth grade and going throughout high school and growing up, this was always his dream. And he followed his passion for over 30 years. Wow. So, there's been a lot of obstacles that he had to overcome in his life. People telling him not to do it or he shouldn't do it. And for him to get to this point, I just want to just applaud him for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. So Donna, overcoming obstacles.
I always say that in most cases, everybody kind of has a crossroads, where you have to try to decide what's the best journey for yourself. And for me, I moved to Arizona, which was obviously very hard, leaving my family and kind of starting all over. That's hard. You're in your comfort zone. You're kind of, living the life that, you thought you were going to live. And then, boom, an opportunity comes and you're deciding, do you go? Do you, step out on faith and try something new, move to a new location? How do you land on your feet when you do that? Right. You don't really know anyone. So overcoming obstacles is just really stepping out of on faith and not living in fear. Right. And then just being committed to living your best life. My hiking, the pictures, all those things, I was able to then share all that with my family and friends, back home. I had friends who traveled out to Arizona, saw me hiking and wanted to experience it. And really, they were able to kind of experience that same life-changing, that's something that just comes over you when you start to hike and you conquer this. You're looking at this mountain. It looks like it goes up to the clouds, and you climb it where you think you had like no, you don't even know whether or not you can get to the top, but when you do finally get to the top, maybe you're afraid of heights, maybe you're exhausted, all those things. And you take those same types of feelings and just put it in life. And it really tells you there's nothing that you can't do. It's just about working hard, being committed, and then just kind of staying focused. And if you do those things, sometimes you're able to get over that mountain. And, I always say our mountains have just been a little higher than most.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Marcel?
Well, I'll be honest, right before I did went out for the documentary, I'd actually quit my job to focus on filmmaking.
Oh, wow.
And I had a decent job, very decent job. So it was a good move. I mean, a difficult decision.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kev came to me with the idea, it was like the perfect storm. I just quit. I was ready to focus, and I was able to go out there for 3 weeks to focus with them. And I think people they need to realize that time is more valuable than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can always make more money. You can always do a lot of different things. But if you only have 4 years, there's no way to go past those 4 years. And I just saw, I think Denzel Washington gave a speech where he said, if you're dying, and I guess all the dreams and the opportunities that you had came to you as ghosts, like we're ideas, and you didn't bring us to fruition. So now we're going to the grave with you. So you have to act on your dreams. You have to at least try it. And after, I've always said I wanted to make a movie that if I didn't do anything else, when somebody saw the movie, they said that was a good movie. And Kamo Lyfe is that movie. So if I don't make another movie, this is one that I'm comfortable people seeing that and say, well, this was made by Marcel Dorsey. So I have to thank them and thank everybody that was involved. But they when we went out there, they gave me some problems. But I'll say this: once I looked at the footage, I understood why they cared about hiking the way they did.
Wow!
And like I said, anybody that sees the movie, they like I say, I was running like a 99.99%. When you see the movie, is not what you think. You're entertained. It's totally different. And I've seen some of the biggest haters I know saw it, and they came to me like, "That was a real movie." So if it tested past those haters, I know everybody. Right. I know we have something good. So I appreciate everything. Appreciate the process, and I love it.
Well, I think for myself, as far as overcoming obstacles, this chapter of my life, I talk about don't be afraid to fail. Mm-hmm. And, I think fear stops us from just trying different things. I have absolutely no background in making movies. It was a dream that I had, and I asked myself, well, why not? I've loved movies for all my life, and I'm like, this is a story like unlike anything that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So that just kind of started the whole ball rolling about, hey, Sale, I got an idea. What do you think? And that's why I want to tell people, don't let fear stop you from doing things. Because believe it or not, I actually used to be deathly afraid of heights, and somehow I would just push past it on these mountains. And I mean, Donna can attest to it. Getting to the edge of a mountain, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Listen, y'all, I think it's just amazing that you had an idea, you had a thought, you started something, and you all actually finished it. I mean, not everybody can create a documentary. I don't know. Is it that easy? Like, oh, let's all create a documentary, but so that's amazing. And for it to win a film festival award
and get picked up
and distribution, y'all, distribution. Okay. You can find it on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Hoopla, and all these other places. Definitely go watch it. There's some drama in there, y'all. There's drama for people.
Just to kind of, just to piggyback on obstacles, after we got done filming and putting it together, I mean, the pandemic hit, we lost a lot of people, some people really close to us. I lost my aunt. We lost a very dear friend in our hiking group. Life will happen. I mean, challenges and obstacles will happen. But I think one of the things that we wanted to do was honor and respect the people who had given us wisdom by finishing this project. Because me and Marcel, we've talked about this quite a lot, it's been very bittersweet. Our moms didn't get a chance to see our movies on the big screen, but we both know that, they're probably looking down upon it and just being very proud of it right now.
Yes, indeed.
That is awesome. That's awesome. There's one thing you can tell people again. I know we talked about overcoming an obstacle, but what's one word or something you can say before we close?
What you got, Donna?
Other than go watch the movie.
Probably persistence. Persistence. Never stop. Persistence.
Right.
I was going to say persevere. I mean, you no matter what your mountain is in your life, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
Yes.
Especially when you're doing it with friends that will support and encourage you. And that's kind of what we have with Kamo Lyfe. And shout out to Nisi and Jamal, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but they're always with us in spirit, and hopefully they're doing well.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I don't have one word, but I do have a few words. And I've said this before is sometimes you got to go through the storm to see the sun. And, the last, 2 years with COVID and, the struggles that we've all personally gone through with, people we love, you got to just kind of keep pushing forward through those dark clouds. But, I promise you the sun is on the other side.
Yeah.
Wow. So overcome obstacles with persistence, perseverance, and see the sun. The
sun always comes up the next day.
It comes.
And if it don't, then we'll probably all freeze and everything will be over.
Right. But that is so true. That is so true. Y'all need to go and watch Kamo Lyfe, the documentary, showing just this friendship, right? This bond, and then hiking. Trust me, y'all will want to go hiking. It did make me want to go hiking. Well, it made me want to go exercise, really, because I realized I'm probably just out of shape, and because I can't climb the mountain. But who knows? It's exciting because all of them started. They were beginners. Mm-hmm. And now they're climbing huge mountains, but seeing some amazing views. Can you just imagine? So please go ahead and support your peoples, okay? So congratulations, everyone. Congratulations, Mark. Y'all, I know Marcel, and I keep calling him Dorsey. So when I mess up his name, that's why. But support director Marcel Dorsey, Kevin Russell, Donna Gray, and the other two, Nisi and Jamal. Sorry y'all weren't here, but we love you. They're a part of the documentary. They're awesome in there as well. And that's it. Everybody, how do they follow y'all?
You can go first.
Well, I'm on Facebook, Donna F. Gray, and on Instagram, Donna DST. I am Donna DST on Instagram.
Nice. Kevin?
The group itself is on Facebook mainly, so look for Kamo Lyfe, KamoLyfe. On Facebook, I'm just Kevin Russell, RUSSELL, and Instagram, KRuss1914.
Nice. And director?
On Facebook, Marcel Dorsey, and on Instagram, Dorsey_MTL.
All right, everyone. Until next time, you've been watching A Cup of Resilience with your girl, Tamiko Drummond, the brand success coach. Once you choose us, they will never stop talking about you. And we are out. Good night.
Night.
Thank you for tuning in to A Cup of Resilience. Follow, like, Share at A Cup of Resilience. At A Cup of Resilience.
My name is Tamiko Drummond, and I'm known as the brand success coach. Once you choose us, they will never stop talking about you.